Hey, Motorman here. I'm at Euro Cycles of Tampa to test this brand new R18 B for bagger. It is a good looking motorcycle from just about every angle. It's a fork mounted fairing, and they did a good job with the styling of that fairing. Doesn't look like a Harley or an Indian or any other motorcycle. Doesn't exactly scream BMW, but neither does any part of the bike with the exception of the boxer motor. That's 1803 or 1802 cc's, I believe. Puts out 90 horsepower, 116 foot-pounds of torque. It is certainly the centerpiece of the motorcycle. Nice size saddlebags, finished beautifully inside. Speakers in them as well. Now, these bikes MSRP starts at 22 and goes up from there. According to BMW's website, it can go as high as 24, but I believe with all the options it'll be considerably more. I would guess you're looking at 28,000 or so. And there is another model with Transcontinental with the Tour Pack. Analog instruments and a giant screen right here. 6.3 gallon gas tank, so you're gonna go pretty far on a tank of gas. All the tech you could imagine is on this motorcycle. Even the headlights follows you as you go around a curve. And now let's take it for a ride. All right, the first thing I notice upon getting on the motorcycle is very low seat height. I'm 5'7", though I identify as 6'2". I can easily flat foot this motorcycle. Clutch feels good, nice and easy. And as usual with the Boxster motor, give it a little revs, the bike jumps a bit to the left. Something to get used to. This looks really cool. I don't know what it does. The salesman wasn't available to show me anything on the motorcycle, but I do know what these do. RPMs, miles per hour, gas. And not sure about that one. Nice upright riding position. Plenty of torque. I feel a little bit of vibration coming through the hand grips. You can see the dash going up and down a bit. It's not objectionable. This is a 1800 cc motorcycle. It's a big motor, even by today's standards. This bike has a 67 inch wheelbase. That means not the most nimble of motorcycles at low speeds, but at high speeds, which of course is what this motorcycle is meant for, you'll be rock steady at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. Generally, the longer the wheelbase, the steadier the motorcycle is at higher speeds. this bike has got floorboards, which on most other bikes would be considered just about mid controls, because the cylinders are in the way to put the floorboards any further forward. It's a wide range gearbox. I'm in second gear, 50 miles an hour. I don't see a gear indicator, but I'm sure there is one somewhere. I don't have giant feet. I have 9.5 or 10, but my feet are hitting the cylinders, and I'm having a bit of trouble getting my foot under the gear shift lever. This is a 6-speed transmission. 6th gear at 60 miles an hour. You had no vibration coming through now. Down to 4th gear. Bends into these turns beautifully. I know exactly what that front wheel is doing. This bike is also equipped with BMW's version of traction control. I mean, just about everything you could think of. Every high-tech feature, BMW's got it. Now, even at this speed, when I hit the gas, look what happens. The bike does tilt to the left. That's something that just takes a little getting used to. It's no big deal. Now, I'm not sure if this bike comes standard with the floorboards, but as I said, I rode the R18 before this, and I didn't notice any problem getting to the gear shift lever. Whereas, like I said, this one, I'm kind of twisting my ankle inward to get to that gear shifter. I would think if they'd have made it a little bit longer, it'd be easier, but I do notice that there's no tip over protection on this motorcycle. That's a disappointment. And maybe if they had this gear shift lever stick out any and the bike tipped over, you'd bend that gear shift lever and it's going to cost you some money. I'm betting there are options. I know for sure that they're going to have tip over protection for the cylinders. They do on all their motorcycles. As far as like a front and rear crash guards, I couldn't advise on that, but according to BMW, they've got every accessory imaginable, and really they have to, because generally the aftermarket doesn't make too many parts for BMWs. Understandably so. Now, a few years back, BMW did have a cruiser model. It's a good-looking motorcycle, but for some odd reason, it had the Boxster motor, but they detuned the motor so much from their RT model that it was, well, a little short on power. They even had a full touring version of it, which wasn't the prettiest motorcycle, and didn't sell very well. Not a lot of power, but they didn't make that mistake with this motorcycle. This is a big Boxster motor, the biggest one they've ever made, with all kinds of torque. This is it's a fast motorcycle, and it's got a visceral feel to it. In other words, it's not like nothing like a sewing machine that a lot of people say what you get from Honda and Kawasaki, etc. Motors are so smooth, they're like a sewing machine. This isn't like that. You know you're on a motorcycle with a big twin motor. feels great around the curves. Now once again, I'm up around 3,500 RPM, and yeah, I'm getting some vibration through the grips. Feel a little bit through the floorboards as well. But as soon as you shift up, revs drop below 3,000, it's fine. Finding that rear brake, again, a little bit difficult with the floorboards, but it feels plenty fast. So I can see on this motorcycle, you fill up those saddlebags, put a passenger on, you are definitely not going to be lacking for power. The seat is on the firm side, but it feels quite comfortable. Fifth gear, it picks up really fast. Let's try sixth gear. Very smooth in sixth gear, 2,000 or 2,300 RPMs. This bike, by the way, has 4.7 inches of travel in both front and rear suspension. And I just went over some seriously bumpy roads and barely felt them on the motorcycle. Nice ride motorcycle, looks great. You're not going to see yourself coming down the street. Because, and I don't think that BMW believes they're going to sell anywhere near what Harley Davidson does, or even Indian. But it's good to have choices, and competition is good. If you like, if you're in the market for a bagger, you got to take this bike for a ride, find out what it feels like to you. As far as price range, it's right in there with the other heavyweight touring motorcycles. This, by the way, weighs 877 pounds, so it's not a lightweight. But price-wise, it's up there with Harley Electra Glides, or not so much the Electra Glide Standard, but the Street Glide, the Ultra, etc. And same thing with the Indians. They're all well over $20,000. If you want all the options, yeah, you're going to be in the $30,000 range for sure. And the only thing I noticed, like I said, that it doesn't really bother me, but I can see people might complain about the vibration that you get when you get above 3,000 RPMs. But this boxer motor is legendary. They've been making a similar design for many years, many years, and they've really refined it. And with this one, they've given it all kinds of horsepower and torque. Torque is what you feel, especially when the bike is fully loaded. It's not the horsepower, it's the torque that you feel pulling you forward. And this bike's got with 116 foot-pounds or pounds-feet of torque. It's got all the torque you'll ever need, even fully loaded. So you may say, well, Jerry, would you buy one of these? Well, as I've often said many times, and people say I'm too pro Harley or I'm a Harley fanboy, 95% of the people that come to my class are riding Harley Davidsons. They like to see the exercises demonstrated on a motorcycle just like the one they have. And I like to demonstrate them on the Harley if somebody's riding a Harley, because that takes away the saying I've heard a lot of times, my bike won't do that. Yeah, if my bike does it, yours doesn't. Now, if 95% of the people that came to my class would be riding Indians, I'd probably be riding an Indian. If 95% of the people were riding one of these, a BMW, I'd ride a BMW. Same thing with a Goldwing. But that's not the case. So Harley Davidsons fit my needs, and that's why I ride them. Not because I think they're the greatest motorcycle in the world. I just think they fit me better than any other motorcycle. The big benefit of them, the heavyweight touring motorcycles at least, is maneuverability. They are the easiest to maneuver because they have a short wheelbase for their size and a short rake. And the handlebars turn quite a distance from lock to lock, which makes them easy to handle once you know the proper techniques. Makes them easy to handle at low speeds, much easier than any of the competition. I sure wouldn't mind having one of these. But my garage is pretty full right now. And then there's my wife, who yeah, every time I buy a motorcycle, she's not exactly the happiest person. She goes off a bit. But if you're in the area here in Tampa, check out Euro Cycles. They've got a good selection of motorcycles. The last time I was here, they had maybe 3 or 4 bikes, but now they had a full showroom, so there's not a problem getting BMWs at Euro Cycles. All right, I'm here with Mike, and he's going to tell me all about the new R18 bagger. Mike, what type of accessories are on this motorcycle?
Here it's got the BMW badge.
You sure? Yeah, that is BMW.
You know,
You don't know?
I don't really know a lot about this bike.
Why?
I'm the parts guy.
And doesn't this have BMW parts?
I'm a part-time parts guy.
Okay, I always prided myself on product knowledge when I work someplace. That's not your concern.
That's really not my wheelhouse.
So you just sell parts. And how many parts are available for this motorcycle? And can you name them?
All of them. I know we have tires in stock right now.
Tires in stock, okay. And they said BMW's got all kinds of accessories.
Yes, they do, sir. Yes, they do. And
what do they have?
well, there's a book. There's a book for it, actually.
So you're not exactly an encyclopedia on this stuff.
Not at all.
All right. I'm just busting Mike's balls. So.